ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I'm your host, Mike Larkin, and joining me today is adult star content creator and an amazing one at that, the one, the only Miss Brittney Kade. How you doing, Brittney?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, I got to say, first and foremost, for what we have seen with you throughout your adult entertainment and throughout your journey into this fine entertainment industry, I got to say, I like what I've seen. I've really been digging your work over these last couple months.
Thank you. I appreciate hearing that.
Oh, you're very welcome. I got to say, with anything, I think you can also concur with me on this. When it comes to the adult entertainment industry, and people will say what they will, I always look at it like an art form, because if you really look at life in itself, it's an art form. We're all applying our crafts. How amazing it to see like where we were from like back in the 80s, the 90s, and even the early 2000s and mid 2000s. Everything was so taboo, but now we're in a more open-minded, I guess, can I just say, more expanding the horizons type of generation where you have the OnlyFans, you have the ManyVids, you have so many different forms of content creation for adult stars in the adult entertainment industry. How awesome is it to really see that evolution of everything just kind of becoming so normalized now?
It's really nice to see. I feel like there's been a lot of stigma that's been lifted around being a sex worker. So yeah, thanks to OnlyFans, now everyone's aunt is like a sex worker. So it's uh awesome to see like the lift of stigma and like shame around it. And also to have like an abundant amount of opportunities and platforms to use. It's really awesome.
I think what's great about it too is, and what I love as well is, I mean, coming up and looking at your work and so many people that are out there, I always look at this. I think in pornography and the adult entertainment industry, variety is such and such. You know what I'm saying? You have trans, you have this, you have that. Everything in pornography, there's a variety. You also have to be very creative with what you do. And what I love about your scenes too, as well, is like you could play like the stepdaughter, you could play a babysitter. Hell, you could dress like, if for those who've seen Brittney on Instagram over here, you could dress like a doggone sailor, for God's sake. The amount of cosplay, the amount of everything that goes into your scenes, and it really does shine through. And what I love about your scenes and really adult entertainment as a whole, you could see the evoking the emotions, the eliciting reaction. You love what you do, and it shows within your work. And I think that's very attainable and also not just admirable, but just very respectful and professional what you do.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I love being able to dress up. So it's kind of that allure that got me into the industry. And yeah, I get to do different cosplays, engage with my fans and see what they respond well to. I've never really been into anime, but since like getting into the industry and like developing that connection with my fans, I'm like, okay, I gotta do all the anime cosplays now. So it's really fun.
I gotta say, you can go into the Sailor Moon type of ours, the Avatar Airbenders, get you some Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of people love it. It's such a great genre. And I think as well, I equate it to like back in the day when we had the 90s folks, and I'll put it into the forefront. I'll go the pop culture route. When we had Britney Spears dressing like the schoolgirl, hit me baby one more time, for God's sake. That was the appeal, you know what I'm saying? The schoolgirl attire, there was a lot of stuff that really went into it. I think for what we see through our imagery and our surroundings and kind of our influences, we take a lot of that and put it into it. And plus, anime, for those who have not checked it out, very underrated, because I got to say, from over the years of watching all those shows, it's really actually very fun. It's really good.
No, yeah, they're actually like full blown story plot, like a lot of depth. So yeah, it's really cool. And yeah, I just love getting able to dress up, especially now is my time of year, like Halloween. So yeah, you'll get to see a lot of really fun outfits for me.
So I got to say, as a preview, no spoilers here, we're going to get something like we see, like the overall, like the thriller type of vibes, like stuff that you would see in your norm, like the Nightmare Before Christmas is and the Halloweens and everything. I know we're going to get something very sexy, elegant, just overall spontaneity, as what I can say from Miss Brittney Kade. I look forward to seeing them.
No, definitely. Maybe not so much spooky, but I have one look that's a little spooky. I can't wait for everyone to see it.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. And I will say this, the great relationships and synergies that we have in the adult entertainment industry really brings a lot of amazing people together, including you and Miss Angelica Good over here. Can I just put
Oh
this
my
over?
God.
We got to put this over. I had to mention it. You two, not only do you have such a great bond and friendship, I love seeing the two together. Beautiful imagery, the whole nine. I love it.
Oh no, I love her so much. I became a friend with her when I first got in the industry. She had first got into the industry as well, and We got our butts done together. And yeah, I feel like we've kind of grown up in a sense over the past few years and we've gotten really close. And yeah, I love her so much. She's coming into town on Wednesday. She's going to be a part of my Halloween looks. So yeah, she is definitely like a really awesome person. I love her.
I look at it like this too. Not only is it that, but I think just the Barbie type of vibes that I see here as well, which I think is awesome. But it also gives you the extent of, and I always look at it like this: when you have that great synastry and that great tag team partner, it's like with any story and any dance. It takes two to tango. If you have the right dance partner, much like Angelica is for you, you're golden, man. And that surely does show within both of your respective contents and both of you together and the continuity it brings. And I got to ask you from where you were, and I got to say this from your transition to where you are now to being the real deal sex appeal that you are and just everything that comes within this industry. It's really great to see not just you staying on your path and just the journey is worth taking, but I know there's got to be some trials and tribulations that you went through to where you are now because I love seeing it. It's very admirable to see what you post within your social media and how type of an influence you have on a lot of people. I think that's very wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I try to be an inspiration to maybe a younger version of myself or something. And yeah, I've gotten a lot of really great responses from other creators that I don't know, maybe they've seen like something I tweeted out, and they were like, "Wow, like you really saved me. I was almost about to work with this one person, and then I saw your tweet." So I always try to like look out for the girls. I'm always the type of girl to put other girls on. Like I don't know, even with Angelica, like almost every opportunity I'm getting, I'm like, "Girl, let's do this."
I think what I also to admire about that is I think in any facet of life, especially the adult entertainment industry, and I think you can concur with me on this, Britt, it's all about accommodation and comfortability, ladies and gentlemen. Accommodating people, making them feel comfortable, going into a scene or just being around them, the boundaries, if you will. But I think in as far as the social media day and age too, as well as because there's pros and cons to everything. I think that influence of social media really helps out more of the pros and it weighs out the cons too, because there's a lot of great stuff that you could do for collaborations and everything, but also at the same time too, it's a networking deal and you have to have the right person to network and you have to know where you're going to have people steer you in the right direction.
Yeah, in this day and age, like you can't just show up to set anymore. Like you have to be an influencer. You have to like network. You have to really put yourself out there. And yeah, I've kind of learned the way of the ropes. I feel like I finally got it down now.
Well, you most certainly have, and I look at it from a stance too like this as well. Like with everything that you've done so far within your scenes, and I gotta say this, I've seen you do some works with Gracie Jane, who is another beautiful person. Izzy
Yes, love
Wild.
her.
What I love about those films too, as well, is I think just again we mentioned synergy earlier in today's form, but I love the fact that again you have the tattoos, you got everything from the external beauty and internal beauty, and what I've always respected about the adult entertainment industry too, as well, is besides what you see on camera. Off camera, just everything from the lighting and behind the scenes puts out quality content. And those scenes right there are quality content. So I want to ask you about working with those individuals because my God, say magnifique.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I always wanted to deliver like high quality type of content, especially when I first got into the industry. I always had a videographer. It was always filmed with like a camera person, no tripods. And yeah, being able to work with really cool people like Gracie Jane, who's become like a really close friend of mine. Like we've spent Thanksgiving, Christmas together. It's really awesome to be able to make these connections with people. Had I not been in the industry, I would have never met.
Agreed. And I look at it like this, like we mentioned networking earlier. Those type of people that too, as well as if you have the right vibe, because I think you could concur with me, not just everything from accommodation and comfortability. Vibes is such a key component to what you're doing when you're working with someone. The vibes have to be there and the vibes just have to be right. You certainly, those two images of you and Izzy Wild, you and Gracie Jane are absolutely right. And I got to put this into the forefront as well, too. I mean, we talked about the stepdaughter stuff. Like I could see you doing some stuff with like Colby, for God's sake, doing your stuff with the stepstar stuff. I love it. I love that film. It's one that really sticks out to me. There's so many things that I love as far as the role play side of things go. And I think for you, not only the creative juices flowing, but I think for you as well, how awesome is it to you to just really have that overall story into it? Because like we mentioned, it being an art form, that being the adult entertainment industry, fucking is great, to put in the bluntest of terms. Sex is amazing, but the story that goes into it really tells it all. And I really love the delivery of the content that you're putting, as far as the plot that goes into it as well, even through that short time.
Thank you. No, I really enjoy being able to be a character and like have a storyline, whether it's I'm an ex girlfriend or I'm a babysitter or like a stepdaughter or something. It's it's more fun for me to be able to kind of channel that energy. I do love Gonzo type of scenes; those are great. But I feel like being able to have a script, a monologue, even, it really allows performers to be able to showcase their acting abilities. And I always want to be an actress. I should have been a little bit more specific, but yeah, no, it's awesome.
I look at it like this and I'll take everybody back to the mid 2000s here and show the nostalgia vibes here on today's show, folks. Back in the day when you had the Naughty Americas and you had the preview of the small 30-second one, you gave a little taste, a little appetizer before all these streaming sites came out with X Hamster and X Videos and Pornhub and all this and all that. Back in the day, there was an actual porn website called Big Sausage Pizza, and the whole thing was you had the sausage in the pizza, you know what I'm saying? And then boom, leads right to sex. Very funny, very creative, kind of cheesy, pun intended with the cheese pizza
Right.
movie. But at the same time, like there's stuff there, but there needs more of a dialogue. And I mean, there's so much that we can have. Like, for instance, Cinemax back in the day, you had Willow, you had Nicole Sheridan, you had so many films. You had the Spider Babes, for God's sake, which was the porn parody of Spider-Man. I love it, but then again, you need more variety, you need more dialogue than just right into the sex scene. So I think with what you're doing as well, with the creativity and you playing the monologue, you are a very good actress. We'll put this into the forefront. You
Thank
are
you.
a good actress, but stuff like that also resonates and generates. And I think with everything in life, and you can concur with me on this, it's all about being the best representation of your presentation.
100%. Yeah. I always try and give like 100% in all my scenes. Um, and yeah, I think having that dialogue, having the scripts kind of helps not only the actors kind of get into character and build that chemistry together, but the fans really enjoy it. And it's part of the allure to the porn. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the step scenes, all of the incest type of scenes wouldn't really be hitting as hard if there was no dialogue. When you do dialogue, you kind of build up that setting and you're really kind of inviting the viewer into what's about to happen and go down. And that alone can be like really sexy and make you turned on. So, yeah, I love being able to have a script and really deliver a character. I look at Jenna Jameson as like a huge inspiration in the way she was able to transition into like mainstream acting and like B movies and shit like that. It's definitely an inspiration.
Can we just put into the forefront, ladies and gentlemen, that Brittney Kate just mentioned 90s Babe of the Year, Jenna Jameson over here. Oh my goodness, yes. I love those type of vibes. I like how you brought up the Jenna Jameson name. I mean, even look back in the day, God rest her soul, Anna Nicole Smith, such a
Oh my
variety,
gosh.
right? Such a variety, such everything that she went into those films. I remember back in the 90s, she had a very nice hot tub scene when she did her short tenure in the adult entertainment industry. It's stuff like that. I mean, how you really put the image out there, and we get our influence a lot from pop culture. You look at the Anna Nicole Smith, you look at the Jenna Jameson, you look at the Pam Andersons, for God's sake. Like, those are like some of the women that we can relate to. I mean, later on when we had The Simple Life of Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie, like again, characters, but also at the same time, who didn't watch the freaking Simple Life, for God's sake, because it was so
Right.
intriguing, much like we have now with the Kardashians. So even the celebrities back in the day, you wanted to see Brett Michaels and Flavor Flav pick whoever they wanted for Rock of Love and Flavor of Love, for God's sake, and then The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. There's such an influence from everything, and we take it into modern day nowadays, especially. But I think a lot of what we do now is really just amped it up, kind of like with your character, like with you as a whole, with your personality. Like, this is you, and I can tell you right now, you're an awesome person. The awesomeness is flowing, but it's you with the volume turned up. You got to have that volume turned up and amplify yourself.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. Um, I feel like I've kind of came into my own power since getting into the industry and really developed like a good sense of self. And yeah, I feel like just a light bulb went off once I got in here, and I'm like, okay, fuck ass, like this is what I'm gonna do, and I love it.
I think what's great about life and in general, what you just said there, Miss Kate, is just, I mean, if you're not loving what you're doing, then why do it at all? And I think what's very integral about what you do and what I love as well is I look at it like this. Everybody has different preferences. Everybody's unique and everybody really gets to show, as they used to say, let that freak flag fly, so to speak. But I think at the end of the day too, as well as whether it's trans porn, normal porn, what have you, I think with what you're doing being an influential part of such a great category and just such a great pornography genre, if you will, like trans porn has come such a long way with women like yourself. And I include you in those sentiments with so much sincerity and respect. Like I'm loving to see what we get to do with that particular category because god dang it, man, trans porn, not only awesomeness, but you're really taking it to another level. And I really love the category.
Thank you. I try. But I agree. I think it's definitely taken off over the past, like, I want to say 5 or 10 years. And it's been awesome to be able to be a part of that huge movement. It's a lot more accepted, not even with just like viewers, but also within the adult industry. For a long time, there was stigma with actors working with us and even agencies signing us. So being able to really break those barriers, like I did with Hussy Models, being the first trans that they've taken on with my agent Riley, it's really an honor and it's awesome to see the progress, really.
Right. And I look at it like this. I mean, kind of like in any sport, I like to use the two S's, and I think you could concur with me with this. I'm going to use the two S's, folks: safe and spectacular. If you keep yourself safe, because testing is a very much a big requirement in any type of adult scene, it's very important. And spectacular. You're applying your craft in spectacular fashion, putting on a spectacular performance. You really get to see that. And I think in today's day and age, it doesn't matter what you are or who you are. I think if you can have that chemistry and you can have, like we mentioned, that vibe too as well, if you go into there actually having the right frame of mind, having the correct mindset of, okay, this is what we want to do, tell the story, what have you. I think if you can vibe and just look past, and again, stigmas are always going to be stigmas, unfortunately, but I think breaking down the barriers not only is very much a step in the right direction, but also at the same time, too, it's a united, not divided front, because even if not just social media in today's day and age, it's all about this when really it's more about this. You know what I'm saying? As it should be, that
Right.
1, 2, 3 LOVE. So, I mean, I think you're doing a great job. I think a lot of us are doing a great job. You really have to look at it through the correct lens, is pretty much what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. There unfortunately can be that type of competition type of feel in the industry. And you really have to just take a step back and realize, okay, you know what? A win for one of us is really a win for all of us. We're all um, in this category. We're all sex workers. We're all alike in some type of way. And I don't know, being able to see other people, other performers excel it should be inspiring. And to the ladies that feel jealous, start taking notes.
As 3LW once saying, haters gonna hate and ballers are gonna ball. So to put it in the most general perspective there. I also look at it like this. I think if first of all, if you're not hating, if nobody's hating, if you don't have haters, then you're doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's gotta hate. They always gotta say something. But in today's
Absolutely.
day, yeah, but absolutely in today's day and age, you know what I'm saying? If you're getting a reaction, a better reaction is better than no reaction. And I mean, in today's day and age as well, and especially with the adult entertainment industry, being the sex worker category, I look at it from the stance too, as well as I think not only we talked about the normalization of it and really going above the stigma. I look at it like this too. Not only number one, is it cool? But number two, is it entertainment? But number three, we talk about there's something for everybody. And I look at it from a stance too as well. Say you like a different type of music, say you like a different type of movie. Just vibe with it. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people in today's day and age can't just vibe with it or agree to disagree on some things. We always got to have an argument. So it's just like, hey man, miss me with that noise, so to speak, to put in the bluntest of terms.
No, literally. I definitely agree. But I don't know. I think a lot of people would be surprised at how similar we all are. And like the numbers on Pornhub speak for themselves. I think someone's watching them, whether they want to admit it or not.
Oh, absolutely. And I think in today's day and age with content creation, we see so many people, whether it be couples, whether it be solo stars. And I mean, there's a lot of people that really get that influence of just, sexuality, sensuality. Okay, let's film some stuff. Let's put some content here. I think what's great about it too, as well, is especially with where we've come from back in the 80s, where you had like the kinky businesses, which is a classic film with Ginger Lynn, the porn parody, of Risky Business, to where we have in the 90s, like the Jenna Jamesons, like we mentioned. There's so many different sexual figures, real deal sex appeals, and I'll even include Tyra Banks in this because my God, America's
Oh,
Next Top Model,
absolutely.
right? But you look at it from a stance too, as well, as not only do you have the decorum, do you have the overall, and I know this is a new term, demure, if you will, but you look at it from a stance too, as well. Like you have the Grammys, you have the VMAs, you got the Emmys, porn, you got the AVNs, you got the XBiz, you got the TEAs. There's always that glamour, that pageantry. And I got to put this over here, folks. For those who have not seen this one over a red carpet, you can rock a dress, man. You can rock that dress very well. I got to put that into the forefront.
Thank you. Yeah, I love being able to be present during the award season and being able to meet all the fans during the convention. Conventions are my favorite part. I really love being able to put a face to all my fans and being able to do autographs. It kind of feels like you're famous for a little bit. It's really fun. But yeah, being able to attend the award shows and um, give shout outs and flowers to the girls that deserve it. It's really awesome.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that commiseration really is the peak right there. And I will say this right now. If you've not voted, y'all should get some pre-nomination over here from Miss Brittney Kade over here for the XBiz. I got you, by the way. I rocked the
Thank
vote.
you.
You're very welcome. A lot of y'all should definitely rock the vote on it because, again, a lot of great people being pre-nominated really go into those categories of such a fun time with such pageantry and pleasantry, so to speak. And I think for you, you added something that's very, very important here. You talk about the community, right, with your fans and the conventions and just the vibe, the interactions and stuff. How awesome is that to see? Like, I mean, we always talk about porn just being boom, 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 but the communication, the community, it brings everybody together. And plus, those conventions not only are fun, the fans are just bananas, BANANAS, and I made that in the almost good way right there.
No, definitely. It's really awesome. I look forward to it every year. Um, I don't know, it just fills my heart with warmth being able to see like, okay, because you really don't understand. Yeah, you can see, okay, yeah, that video got like a million views, but you don't understand like how many people actually are a fan of you and like love what you do and want more of it. And whenever I get to see that or have those interaction, it just gives me like the fire under my butt to give them what they want.
As the old saying goes, you got to give the people what they want, so to speak. And I mean, I look at it from a stance like this. I think you surely do, number one, but also number two, at the same time and junction. I think when you're in that moment, I think you can concur with me. When you're at conventions, whether you're networking on social media, whether you're at AVNs, TEAs, XBIGs, whatever award show that is that really encompasses the overall hard work that goes into this, I think it's really, really, truly about the moments and memories created and moments and memories yet to be created. Because no matter how subtle it is, you're always creating a memory and moment with anything that you do and whether you're present in that moment as well.
Yeah, you definitely are. It's kind of crazy to see some of the performers or adult actresses that aren't very sociable or um, just kind of don't know how to interact with their fans. Like, I kind of feel bad for them because I don't know, for someone to go out of their way to buy a ticket, to be able to see you have that experience, make those memories. I mean, that's a huge deal. A lot of people can't always afford to come, and I don't know. I definitely value that more than anything, and I think my fans know that too.
Oh, agreed wholeheartedly, myself included. I mean, I think not only is that one of the reasons why a lot of people really resonate and generate with you and why I wanted to have you on this show, which thank you, but also I look at it like this too, man. It's you really get to see, and I think a lot of people in different industries, and adult industry included, I think people don't realize like the importance and the weight of like how your image really affects people and how your vibe really goes into people and how to get in tune, so to speak, dare I say the one and only spirit, if you will, because that really goes into not only your image of how you present yourself, but that really goes a long way. And I think a lot of people either they don't realize it or they just kind of like missed the mark or missed the boat, so to speak. And I think it's unshame because, I mean, it's untapped potential. You're not really tapping into your true potential of who you are and what you could be about. You know what I'm saying? Potential is key in anything.
Oh, absolutely. I think, I love to see some of the newcomers, the new starlets, and be able to see like all their potential that they have, and whether they choose to, channel that into the industry, into their careers. I love to see that. But I'm also thankful for everyone that saw the potential in me, even when you don't see it. You don't always see it in yourself. At least for me, I didn't. So and now that I know my potential, I feel like I can see it in other stars. And I don't know, it's just awesome to see.
And I will say this, speaking of other stars, I just had Eris Jolie on the show like a few days ago. She gave you a huge shout out. She is loving
No.
what the Brittney Kade does, man. I give a shout out to Eris because she was very complimentary of your work.
No, I love her. She definitely is who I was referring to. That has like so much potential, can definitely take over. Um, and I don't really feel that way with a lot of girls, but she definitely has like that star power. Um, but yeah, it's great to see. I definitely have made myself known to her and be like, girl, next time you're in LA, we need to like collab and do like a little bimbo video.
Hey, I will say this right now. When that does happen, I will definitely take a look at it and watch it, as all you should.
Right,
Because, right, you look at a woman like Eris, and I'll even put her over here. It's one of the things where I look at a woman like Miss Eris Jolie, not only the bimbo vibes, which, as you just mentioned there, the bimbo stylings of the connection right there, but I
right.
look at her from the stance too. Like, I love the fact that she is so passionate, she's persistent, and she's all about the precision, which you really should be about because, again, that really goes into a lot of what you do as a person and who you are and what you do, what puts into your work, so to speak, that driving force, if you will. And I mean, with you, Miss Brittney Kid, I got to mention, like, we talk about your transition from where you are now to being this bombshell that you're over here. Let's put that over to the forefront once more. But I think from where you are, not only does it show within how you are from an evolution from when you're younger to where you're older until you really grow and evolutionize as a person, I think that goes a long way with even what we're into, like what we're into for like our kinks, our preferences from the sensual side of things until we get into adulthood, so to speak. There's always something to evolve with, and there's always something to really absolve and obtain, so to speak. And I think you've really, really found that. And I think that's what a lot of people can take away.
Oh, thank you so much. I love hearing that. Yeah, I have kind of grew up in the sex work industry in a way. So I definitely feel like I've learned so much about not only what I like, what turns me on, and my fans get turned on by, but also, um, I don't know, just me in certain aspects. Like I've never had sex with a girl before it was on camera, and like being able to like experience that and like feel out that vibe. It's great to see like self exploration is like I love it. I think everyone should definitely do a deep dive into themselves.
No, I'm right there with you. And I could say from where I am now, and I can speak for myself personally, like I'm 32 years of age now, going to be 33 next year. I look at it from a stance too as well. Not only do we learn a lot, we really adapt and grow as people. But I think what's cool from the sensual side of things is some people may not like bondage. People may like not like this. I mean, it's also, if you don't know until you try it, number one, but also number two, you really get to see from the connections that you develop with a person, whether it be friendships or relationships. It's all about that bond. And I think that bond is very much important. And it really does truly show the essence, not only of lovemaking and sensuality and sex in itself, but the overall essence of your human being. And I think the essence is very much key to one's spirituality, internally, externally, and overall, dare I say, the bound chicka wow wow stylings of sensual intercourse, if you know what I'm saying.
No, definitely. It takes a lot for a porn star to be able to manufacture that type of chemistry, even when there isn't any for a scene. And that's how you can always tell an amateur from a pro, I feel, because the pros definitely are able to um, create that artificial chemistry. But had it not be artificial, the cameras are on and you would never know. So, yeah, it's really fun. But yeah, it's not always easy when you get like partners that maybe aren't the nicest or something. But I don't know. It comes with the game.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you hear a lot of stuff like that too. I remember listening to an interview with an adult star like years ago, right? And it's like the guy was so insistent. And mind you, there are some people that are into stuff, some people are not. But also, you don't want to cross that boundary because if they say no to this, and again, very common phrase here, folks, but no means no. It was like that person wanted to do anal. And it's like, no. Like, how many times I got to say no? Then there's boundaries and everything that goes into it. So, again, we talk about the comfortability factor, but it's just like, hey, man, don't be a jerk. Don't be a dingus, if you will, on set. We're going to try to create some magic in here. Don't be a dingus, to put it in the books of terms.
Yeah, it's always funny. I feel like a lot of people have a misconception that they think like, oh, all these actresses are such divas. No, it's a lot of times some of the male talent can be the divas. But yeah, I don't know. I think despite all of that, you definitely got to just like give them a good show. And even when you do have a difficult partner that maybe you have no chemistry with and you're just like grinning and bearing it, you kind of, it's a little mini challenge for me. And I get to, watch the scenes back and be like, oh, you would have never known. And then I get feedback from other people being like, oh my God, I love that scene. And little did they know what was going on behind the scenes. So it's really fun to see.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I'm not going to speak for all males because I don't consider myself a diva, but I know a certain amount of them as well. But I mean, I look at it from a stance too as well. I think you hit the nail on the head of everything that goes into it right there. And I mean, for you, and I'll even say this to you right now, like we touch upon like a lot of the stuff that you've done from stepdaughter type scenes and the dialogue and the creativity that goes into it. I gotta say, one of my favorite scenes of yours is probably the one where you're the teacher and you're gonna get this, and then boom, goes right into some sensuality and just awesomeness. Like that stuff right there, because number one, who hasn't fantasized about a hot, sexy teacher? Number one, as we all have. Also, number two, like that is some of the classic nostalgia, but still cool scenes that have been around from the test of time, even probably since porn's first inception, so to speak. Like, who doesn't love that? I think some of the stuff like that, not only is it simple, simplistic, but also just awesomeness, but it's something that really stands the test of time for how we view our adult entertainment, so to speak.
Absolutely. I think there is like that standard type of script that's very um I don't know, it's not dated at all. Like it will last the test of time because like you said, everyone will have a crush on their teacher at some point. Everyone will maybe have a crush on their stepdad or something at some point. But yeah, it's kind of fun to be able to create timeless type of scenes and scenarios. While also being in like the digital age and trying to be like relatable to everyone in the modern day. But yeah, I always look at like I'm obsessed with the Janice Jameson 90s, 2000s type of porn that's like hyper glam, hyper like I don't know, femininity. And yeah, I try and bring that even into the more relatable, kind of typical adult time type of scenes.
I like your style. This one making me smile over here with the 90s, early 2000s type of hyper glam vibes. I like your style. It kind of reminds me of, and I'll say it standard wise because this also includes popular culture and how we view women just for the overall external beauty that they are and just people as a whole. Baby, like you look at MTV for God's sake, back in the day when TRL would go to like Cancun, right? You have the spring break episodes. Like, who didn't love that? Would be like complaining, like, oh my God, they're back in Cancun. Here come the hot models. I'm like, what do you mean, here come the hot models? Like, there's women just coming out here. Here's Eminem performing My Name Is. And then you got all these women out here in the bikinis. Like, that was one of the integral parts of why we love watching TRL going to spring break, or why would we like seeing Woodstock 99 on friggin' like TV or what have you. Like, that stuff is so integral. It's really all about the subtleties, intricacies, and nuances that we get with our programming.
No, I definitely agree. I think there's kind of been like a renaissance of that type of energy too. Like I've noticed even with the Victoria's Secret fashion show that just came back. Like people are demanding that type of hot, sexy bitch energy. So I'm happy to deliver it from the adult entertainment type of side.
Oh my God, you bring up the Victoria's Secrets fashion show. That brings back memories. Yeah. But no, I remember that one time. I don't know if you recall it, and I'm sure the listeners will remember this. There was that one time when the Spice Girls got like reunited on one of the shows and they performed Stop Right Now, Thank You Very Much, and like the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy type of like military type vibes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the outfits, and then here's friggin' Scary Spice and friggin' Posh Spice looking all good, and Baby Spice and a button. And it's like that type of stuff right there, like the influx of pop culture and just sexiness and fashion. That says it all right there.
No, definitely. And I think also having like all those beautiful, sexy women, like just in one space alone, like all that energy is like they love it. I love it. I love being a part of it. And yeah, how can you not?
This is true. And what I could say to you folks is how can you not support an amazing woman like Miss Brittney Kade over here?
Oh,
Her
thank
doing the
you.
damn thing. You're very welcome. And I will say this to you, man, before we do close this out, because we mentioned a lot of incorporated scenes, incorporated imagery, and just overall badassery with Jenna Jameson, which puts a smile on my face because you got good taste. I will say this. I'd love to have you back on for a round two in the future. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love that. Thank you
Now,
so much for having me.
you are very welcome. Couple final things before we close this out, folks. Now, you, with the knowledge that you have, and as we all say in life, knowledge is power. For you, being where you are now, from where you started, and just everything that you absorbed and really taken in from learning this great industry, what advice would you give to the up and comers that want to get into the adult entertainment industry, content creation? What advice do you have for those individuals?
For anyone that's getting into the industry or wants to get in, I would definitely tell them you have to give it your all. It takes a lot of energy, especially if you want to be, for me, I want to be the best at everything I do. I'm sorry, but I do. So for me to do that, I need to give it my all. I can't hold back. I can't not do girl scenes. I can't not, I don't know, show my face or some of the things that I see some of the OnlyFans creators doing. Um, I think if you're really wanting to get into this industry, it helps to live in LA, definitely. But give it your all, and realize that people are going to recognize you, and that is a risk in itself. Getting into the industry and having your name be spread to the world, really. But if you know do it correctly and like have a stage name, have an agent that really is considerate and on top of their game. You have to also be on top of your game as well, have your head on straight. And I think, I don't know, with all that info, you'll definitely go far for sure.
Pearls of wisdom and just overall, dare I say, adhere to those words by Miss Brittney Kade. I mean, you got the initials. It says it right there. BK, have it your way. Before we do close this out, Miss Brittney Kade, you were all over the social media fronts. Where can we follow you? Twitter, Instagram. The floor is yours, ma'am. Go ahead.
Well, for everyone that is interested, you can all follow me at BrittneyCade.com, obviously. But for Instagram, it's BrittneyCadeXO. X would be B Doll Brittany. Um, TikTok would be Brittany Cade Official. Am I missing any?
Instagram.
Oh, Instagram, Brittany Cade XO. YouTube, Brittany Cade.
I gotta say this. I like the fact that you just said BrittneyCade.com. Obviously, like if you're not going to the website, people, then what the hell is wrong? Then obviously, I like your style, man. The confidence in that. But no, definitely the links will be in the description. Follow her on YouTube as well, because I gotta say, man, for those who've not checked out Brittney on YouTube, very informative, very sexy. I gotta say, I dig the shoots. I dig the shoots.
Thank you. Yeah, there's like I've been on YouTube longer than any platform. So if you go on there, you'll find like crazy videos of me when I was like a teenager trying to make YouTubing happen for me.
Well, I will say the journey is worth taking, and you have certainly gone on your journey, and it is definitely worth taking because it gives you a lot of not only awesomeness, folks, but great content. And if you want to check out some great content, check out Mike Larkin 92. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more on the mic with Mike, where you can see this face, and most importantly, this face over here of Miss Brittney Kade, and so many great people that have been on this fine show. Links will be in the description. Subscribe to my YouTube. Subscribe to Brittney Kade's YouTube over here with the XOs and the Brittney Kades and the official, so to speak. And Brittney Kade, before we close this out, do you have any final words to the people that have been supporting you, your fans and everything? You got any final words for the people?
I just want to say thank you so much to all my supporters. I literally love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I do everything for you guys. And I have some really, really awesome, exciting announcements coming very soon that I cannot wait to share with you. So, like Michael said, make sure you're subscribed. So when those come out, you're tuned in.
Humble and ambitious, Miss Brittney Kade. And as I always say to close the show, folks, life is an art form. We're all applying our crafts. Continue to apply your craft in amazing fashion. And of course, the mindset of everything, not just myself, but as it should be when it comes to the great work of arts that is women. Beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Miss Brittney Kade, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Come talk to me. I love the way you're on to me. Looking at you, looking like you're wondering if we're here for the same reason. And now that you wanna lay in the sun, getting love drunk, sticking like honey. Yeah, I bet you're here for some fun with that someone, feeling that something. If you're looking for a good time, honey, I'm right here. If you're looking for the good life, good vibes, honey, I'm right here. And I'm waiting for you. And I love you in your summer skin. Looking at you, looking like you're into it. 'Cause we're here for the same reason. Yeah, I just wanna lay in the sun, getting love drunk, sticking like honey. Yeah, 'cause I'm just here for some fun with that someone, feeling that something. That's something. If you're looking for a good time, honey,